Let's get this party started, everybody. I've been waiting to do this interview with this man. He's been on the show a bunch of times. It's time to bring him on again. We've got a very special interview with the legend himself, New York Jets punter, Thomas Morstead. Let's roll. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans. Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show. Come on, people. Aaron Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby. For me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. No punter in NFL history has made as much money as this man, and he just added a few shekels to the pile, baby. That's Thomas gosh darn Morstead here on the program. Thomas, what's up, brother? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. All good. That's a hell of an intro there. I appreciate it.
Well, congratulations, Thomas. Not only do you come back to the Jets, which us Jet fans were hoping for, but a multi-year deal. Very nice. Why don't we start off there? Jet fans, I think we've been complaining behind the scenes up until we saw, I guess, the Ritsamini tweet that there was some technicality in your contract that you had to wait to a certain period to sign. Jet fans were hoping that was move numero uno as soon as the season was over. So when did this get banged out? Because I know it was formally announced, on the league year kicking off.
Yeah, I will. I'll keep the details of that out of respect to everybody in the process, to myself. But I think from the get-go, I felt very likely that I would be back here. Obviously had some teams reach out to gauge interest, but this was kind of the plan all along, was to be back, and I think the team knew that as well. So just very grateful that. They were, sometimes it's scary to invest in an old guy. And you don't want to be the team that sees a guy fall off the cliff. So I'm just grateful that they see what they, I guess I'm grateful that they're willing to keep betting on me. And I'm excited to be part of the team moving forward.
Thomas, I prefer the word seasoned, experienced over old guy, but different strokes, different folks. But
yeah,
I appreciate.
Look, I appreciate it. Those are good spins, one way or the other. At the end of the day, it's all about producing, and so that's why they want to be back. Had a great year last year, and looking forward to building on it.
I see on your secondary handle there, for those that are watching the interview, Greg's ball holder. So it seems like is that more what they paid you for than the punting? You're such a modest guy.
You'd have to ask them. I just try to deflect some of the attention away from myself, and I thought it'd be a funny joke. I'm glad Greg's back.
Yes.
The band is back together, and we've got big shoes to fill based on how we all did last year. We got to keep trying to find a way to get better and be more efficient and more dependable. And but it's the continuity is a big deal in this league at the specialist position. So we're all excited to be back together again.
Thomas, I know you like to deflect blame, but it will be impossible with this question. I'm not sure if you saw the clip, but Aaron Rodgers went out of his way during a long-form interview on social media, and he went out of his way to pound the table for you, calling you a weapon. Greg Zuerlein, he did the same for your teammate, and he advocated strongly for you guys to return. Did you see that clip? And also, if not, just hearing it now, what did it mean to you to hear that from QB1, Aaron Rodgers, future Pro Football Hall of Famer?
Look, it's great. I definitely saw it, and people definitely reached out and sent it to me. It's very cool, and it's not just because he's Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer at some point. It's when your teammates value what you do and appreciate it, and that makes a big difference. And he's lost out on some Super Bowl trips because of bad special teams play. So I think, selfishly he's been burned by it. He knows the importance of it. And, it's really cool when you have teammates step out like that and voice their appreciation. So very grateful for it.
You know, Thomas, we've done a lot of interviews together, and I'm very humbled that we've been able to develop a relationship and have you on the show a lot. I didn't know these numbers till after the year was kind of over and I was reviewing things. Last year, your 99 punts led the NFL by most of any punter in the league, and was by far the most you've ever booted in a single season in your 15-year career. I'm sure you weren't anticipating that kind of workload. We're like, Aaron Rodgers, Jets, maybe I'm not going to be punting as much. Did you have to do anything differently during the season to get that amount of punting, an amount of punting you had never done in your career previously at the professional level, to have your body ready on a week-to-week basis?
Not really. You know, I don't kick on the sideline at all. Mm-hmm. So most of my work is all pregame, and then you just get your punts at halftime to kind of find a groove again. But yeah, not really. I mean, the biggest difference I'd say is I'm so used to kind of like sprinting off the field after extra point field goals. And I know kind of fans kind of made light of that and had fun with that training camp. I certainly stopped doing that at some point early in the season. We were, you know, punting a lot, and you know, I just that was always a way to kind of stay juiced up. And I've had a lot of years where we didn't punt much. So that was part of my routine, and I kind of dropped that once we started punting a little more, because I didn't need to do it as much. So yeah.
Well, Thomas, last season, to your point and everything you were just saying, was challenging for us. It was challenging for you guys as players. What did you guys learn from last year? Aaron Rodgers goes down. You guys still have a full season to play. You guys have a lot of, veterans with pride and dignity, and there's a football team and a season to be had. What did you guys learn from this past year that you hopefully can apply to 2024?
Look, every season's different. Every season takes a life of its own. And I think your integrity can't be based on your circumstance, and how you do things can't be based on if things are going great or not great. I think the thing I learned was not so much about myself, was more I learned about some of my teammates, good and bad, if you want to call it that. And just, I learned about a lot of teammates. I was proud to be part of the team last year. It was really one of the more challenging seasons I've ever been a part of, and especially with all the expectation at the beginning and then how things unfolded. So no moral victories, but it was definitely, a team that I'll be proud to say I was a part of. We hung in there. Guys could have easily folded it up and given in. And I know at the end of the season, a lot of people were wanting us to lose games at the end of the season to get a better draft pick. And I was proud to see guys keep fighting. And at the end of the day, we're in the business of winning. And, as soon as you start not making that your priority, to me, that's when you've got that's not good for the long-term build. So I was proud to be part of the team.
Again, we're speaking with Thomas friggin' Morstead, baby. He just inked a brand new deal with the New York Jets to keep him here for the next several seasons. And this offseason, Thomas, we saw the official passing of the torch of jersey number 5 from you to Garrett Wilson, G-Dub. He now has number 5. So it's the question on everyone's minds. What jersey number are you moving to next, Thomas?
I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm sure I'm going to have some fun with that on social media, get some input from different people, get some input from the kids at home. I'd had the number 5 as a pressure point on my wife, maybe to have a 5th kid at some point. So maybe that'll come down the pike at some point. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. There's lots of options now with them opening up all the jersey numbers. And, I think we used to be able to only be 1 through 19. And now we can be 0 through 49 and 80 to 99. So I'll see what the options are and have some fun with it.
By the way, do you have any issue with that? I know there's a lot of football purists out there that don't like seeing a certain position with a certain number. They're like, it just doesn't look right. Are you all for the change? Are you a progressive guy from that standpoint?
I think there's some cool things to it. I do think it's really restricted numbers for certain positions that you're typically used to seeing, because a bunch of guys have loved having the single jersey digit. So finding those is difficult. But yeah, I think it's cool. It's freshens things up. And, I'm glad that I was able to give Garrett number 5. He was really excited about that. And, you know, he's a tremendous young player. He's got a bright future, and you know, it'd be cool to say that I gave him his number. So pretty cool.
I don't know if you guys talked about it. Was there any financial agreement exchanged? Is he like hooking you up with something? Like, what was the exchange?
No. Look, I didn't ask. You know, I just honestly, I know it's not what you see all the time, but I don't want a young player giving me any of his money. You know, I don't think it helps teach young people to hold on to the coin that they're making.
Yeah.
It's really hard to earn. And sometimes when you're a young player and you're in the NFL and it's exciting, and the lifestyle, you hear about all this crap about guys going broke and all this stuff. And I think it's better than it used to be, but I don't know. I wanted Garrett to have it. I don't expect $1 from him for it. And I'm just grateful to have a number. So I'll leave it at that.
All right, a couple of quickies before we get you out of here. Put on the GM hat for us. Is there anyone you'd like to see the team add? Any former teammates out there that jump on the Jets bandwagon? We're trying to go to the Super Bowl, baby.
I would just say, you know, selfishly, I'd love to have Hardy back. You know, I think when you have a guy that's on the outside that you really trust, it allows you to kind of let it go and not be too cautious and, you know, play with an aggressive mindset. So, you know, I'm certainly hopeful that we can get him back, and we have a great relationship, and, you know, he's about the right things. So that would be number one, I think.
It only feels right to bring it back. You brought back Z. You've got Hennessy, obviously. You got yourself. To bring Hardy back, especially with how last season happened, that we didn't get the playoffs and everything else, it would only make sense for Hardy to come back and join the group. So I think a lot of fans are with you. We'd love to see Hardy back in the fold. Last one here. Give us a preview of Aaron Rodgers. What do you think for Jet fans? What are we going to see? Because Jet fans have never seen a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers ever outside of the scant training camp preseason and first 4 snaps that we saw. What are Jet fans getting next season? What can you tell us? You've been in the room with him. You've been there at the Jets facilities with him. What are we going to see?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I would say getting to know Aaron. He's going to do everything he can to be playing at the highest level. And, you know, I can't imagine with all the hype and expectation getting traded here, and the media market's wild in New York, New Jersey, for that to happen is just, I don't think anybody really can understand what that feels like unless you've been through it. So all I know is the guy's been, you know, almost reckless abandon as far as how he's tried to get back for the end of last season. And so, you know, I just expect the very best version of whatever he is that we're going to get that. I think he's going to feel obligated to give that to the team, and he's going to feel obligated to do it for himself, just to see where he can get back to. So I know I'm excited to be a part of that and to get a firsthand glimpse into it every day.
Well, Thomas, congratulations on the brand new deal. I'm glad that you were able to come back on the show, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. I hope we see a lot less of you next season, hopefully, because a lot more Aaron Rodgers touchdowns. You know what I'm talking about?
Fair enough. That sounds like a great deal to me.
Beautiful. Thomas, enjoy the rest of the offseason. Enjoy the rest of Media Row that'll be happening here, and congratulations to you and your family on staying here with the Jets.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it, Paul.
There he is, Thomas Morstead, everybody. Make sure you guys like the video and hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.